Welcome to Glydecast. I am your host, Shaggy, and with me from the United Kingdom, the man with the plan, Valefor.
It's me, Valefor. I've done this last time, I think,
Yes.
but we do it again. Hello, welcome.
And in this corner, all the way from Denmark, 1H, the octopus.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Oh,
Hello there.
All right. And all the way down under, creating 121 dragon NPCs, legendary Griffin.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
Hell yes. This is episode 1, Who is Valefor Gaming? So let's get ready to rumble. Okay, I'm done. Let's go.
Yay, let's go. So this is me, Valefor, and I'm also known as Valefor Gaming. That's it, thank you.
All right, end the show.
No, I'm kidding.
Thanks for watching.
Keep going, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
All right, so it's basically the layout of this show here. We've got a couple things we want to talk about. The first one we want to talk about, we got some Glyde news. So first things first with the Glyde news, just want to make a shout out to Raptoron on the Discord server. He just, and I mean just, had his very first child. He was born, I think, yesterday, if I'm correct, as they were recording this, which is the 14th. So I believe it was Friday the 13th.
I think.
A fresh babe.
Oh yeah, congratulations to both him and his wife, obviously. I mean, I myself, I became a parent last year as well, and I know how it feels. Magical, but also like your life is gonna change a little bit, so good luck and have fun. I guess.
a little bit.
Say goodbye to the
Might be a
sleep.
little bit different.
No sleep. I mean, who needs sleep anyway? You know, sleep is for the weak, so you know. Yeah, just keep on the grind, I guess, and you know, enjoy every moment.
Yeah, congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
So cool. Good job, bro.
So next thing I want to mention here is Glydecast is also available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. That took a while, but we finally got it on all 3 of those platforms there. Still working on iTunes. We'll see.
Nice.
But we got it on those 3 platforms as well as Podbean, of course, and YouTube, which will happen.
It's coming. It's coming.
One day.
Please stand by.
Yeah, the previous episode, I mean, we're recording this on the 14th now, and so yeah, the previous episode that we recorded back then will actually go live on YouTube today. So yeah, so we'll probably be like, YouTube will be 1 episode behind, I guess.
That's good.
Unless we manage to keep up with all of this, but yeah. So yeah, the YouTube will also be updated.
All right. So this next section here of news, we are going to basically talk about the early access demo that was released to the Patreons back in December, the end of December. So we're going to talk, basically, we've got a lot to talk about here. So we're going to just do a shotgun round of all of us going through and kind of giving our feedback to this early access, and we'll have some dev perspectives. We'll have my perspective as basically a Patreon supporter, getting access to the game, first time really playing the game without an 8-second delay like I did back in March during the Parsec days. That was hilarious. So
Right.
The playtests that we did initially, they were a lot different. I mean, at least it gave people an idea of the game, but playing it yourself is actually, you know, a totally different experience.
yeah, it's a huge difference from having 45 minutes of gameplay versus 33 hours logged so far.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know how many hours we got, but probably like
Oh yeah,
some
I mean, we as
hundreds,
devs, obviously, we
yeah.
play a
Oh,
lot.
Gosh, yeah.
thousands. So good luck reaching that level.
So I've got a crap load of time logged into the early access demo. You guys got even more time because you guys created it. But basically, experiences, feedback, processes for the future for the full demo.
Yes.
So I guess we just go with some memorable moments and then kind of a little bit of what we went through during this early access demo, because this was released just shortly before I think it was like a week before the first episode aired. It was definitely before we started recording, because we recorded back in November, end of November of 22. So
Yeah.
this came out. It was. I've never seen the Glyde channel so alive for a solid week.
Oh my gosh.
It was exploding. It was a lot of fun. It was also the best time for you guys' releases because I started my 2-week break for the end of the year, so I was off. I had plenty of time to play it.
Yeah, it was such a good time, honestly.
Yeah, so I mean, the reason why, obviously, I mean, I thought it was a good idea as well because it kind of goes down to the fact that we were meant to release the demo before the end of the year, but obviously that didn't happen. It just turned out that there's a lot more to do than expected. So I kind of thought that would be a good idea to kind of gift, the community, but also like mainly reward Patreons for their support and help. And even though we had to delay the demo, at least they got something to play and try to see that it's not a scam or anything, that it's actually a real game, but it's just a little bit more demanding than we initially expected it to be to make something like this.
all of the bug fixing and the polishing just takes a little while longer than expected.
Yeah, and not even that. It's because we want to deliver high quality and stuff. I don't want to be rushing into things. Plus, we have the time for it. We have to make it the best we can because after the demo is out, like the full demo is out, obviously the full one will be free for everyone. But then that will be, the factor that decides, whether people will support it or not, like on Patreon and on the Kickstarter and stuff. Because, once the full demo is out, a lot of people might think that, oh, okay, so since that's out, I don't need to support it on Patreon anymore. Even though we use the Patreon is mainly used to collect funds for the full game, and obviously to improve the quality of the demo and everything that we do, but so we'll see what happens, I guess. But I thought releasing a demo build for Christmas time is a good idea because not enough it will give people something to do and play while we work on the full game. It will also help with feedback and actually help us a lot with bug fixing and stuff, so we have less to do after the full demo is out. Because if we release this as a full demo, then we would have a lot of issues that we were not really aware until people actually started playtesting this, and it helped so much. It's like so I think it was a good call.
But here's also another thing. So when people see demo, they immediately think, and this is typically for most games out there, demos are demonstrations of the game. They are not the finished product. They are still in early development. So you are going to see bugs, you're going to see glitches, you're going to see crashing, you're going to see all that stuff here. So this is what that just blows me away by what you guys are doing and how basically it shows the level of quality you guys have for this game. You don't want that. You want it to be as perfect as possible. And so you are releasing an early access demo to be able to get that feedback for those bugs, for those freezes when the game freezes up, if it crashes, the holes that are in the game, and you want to fix that so it's more enjoyable for the player when you release the full demo. You want to make the best possible chance of this succeeding in the Kickstarter, and that's what really you don't see in a lot of other game developers out there for these test demos. I mean, I just played last night the Artisans demo that you released, was it 2018, I think? And
long time ago, yeah.
That was a very quick demo that I finished in like 20 or 30 minutes. It showed the base of the game. There was bugs, there was weird issues, which I expected, and it was done. My experience was over, and it was enjoyable. It's like, okay, so I see what you're going for. I can see the improvements that need to be done. I can see what you're going to create further on, and I look forward to that. No. That's not what you're doing here. You're making a full freaking game and getting people experience. So you are, I guess what I'm trying to say is you are really trying to increase your chances of this game having the best potential of getting the most funds to be able to make the game that you guys dream of. And that says a lot about you guys and about what you do. I mean, like I said, I logged 33 hours into this game. It's a demo, an early access demo, not even the full complete demo. There's still stuff.
It's a demo of a demo. That's what's a little bit funny for me. It's like, but that's why I'm also really grateful to like community and everything. Is because like, you know, especially Patreon supporters, because they're helping with the costs of, you know, keeping up, you know, so Discord Nitro, keeping up the server that we keep the build on, because obviously I have to pay for all that as well. You know, all the kind of assets and help and sounds and the artwork and the free, and, you know, the most important thing that came out of the Patreon support was actually, you know, all the models for the NPCs and stuff.
Yeah, that's not free.
You know, and so that allowed us to, rather than having like 5 or, you know, 10 NPCs, you know, we have like a lot, like, you know, more than 30 now, I think, yeah, or even more. I can't remember the exact number anymore, but so many, and it's just crazy.
I think there's at least 4 per element.
Yeah, something like that. So
we were talking about this legendary. Was it like 23 or something like that? You came up with the total number?
Something
that
like
I've
this.
Completed, yeah, but there's more to do.
So that means there's 98 to go.
Something like that, yeah. No, I think, yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get all of the concepts in the demo. I think we will have at least 3 per element, and I think that's what's completed. I think there's only a couple left, maybe like 1 or 2. But obviously for the full game, we want to have a lot more different ones. I want to have the least amount of NPCs kind of reappearing in a way that, you know, each dragon that you meet, I would like it to be different, and not just a recolor. But obviously that will be for the full game. So what we will try to do is probably have some, you know, like change the whole approach, like have one kind of like, because at the moment it's a little bit awkward because every dragon has to have its own rig and it has to be weighted, and it's like, I mean, you could probably talk more about this, Griffin, but it's like, you know, every NPC basically has to be redone, like re-rigged and stuff like this, which is a huge pain in
dragon fruit,
to be honest. But
and that's mostly because of the like
the
head
animation
positions.
Yeah, exactly. So what I think, I mean, again, I'm not an animator, so I don't know to what extent this will be possible in the full game. But I was thinking that we could have some form of like a modular approach for the models, but also have like a universal rig for all the NPCs. So maybe then only like the head has to be adjusted or whatever is different about them, and they could share pretty much the same skeleton and stuff. But again, that's for the full game, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah,
they'll all still have to be weighted, but it means that you can still use the same rig rather than having multiple.
Yeah. And I think also switching from Blender to Maya, I think, would also help a lot.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah.
What do you mean by weighted?
So yeah, you can take that one, I guess.
Yeah, I can explain it. Yeah. So basically, you have your model, which is just a static mesh. It doesn't move. You can do nothing with it. However, you add a rig, which the rig is basically a skeleton, and then the weighting part is basically telling what bones move what parts of the mesh. So you are adding weight to that part of the mesh.
Yeah. So it's like if, let's say, you have a bone in the leg, like a foot, you want to weight the foot part of the mesh to that bone, so that bone only moves that part. Because if you don't do that, then that bone will move everything or nothing, you know, depending on how the weights are assigned. So like, you know, if you were to assign a head part of the mesh to the foot bone, then that foot, when that foot moves, it will move the head, which you don't want.
So literally, you're designing like muscles and tendons and all that stuff, basically.
Yes, basically. So yeah, so like the weighting part is basically like assigning the muscles and tendons to the bone that they're all over. So you make sure that only that part of the mesh and the model is moving with that bone whenever it moves during the animation. So it's a bit complicated process. Actually, I think weighting is probably something that not a lot of people realize. I mean, unless they're in the industry. But as a player, a lot of people probably don't know that this is something that has to be done. which I find interesting because
probably not.
Initially, when I was just a player, I always thought like, oh, okay, so I knew that there was a skeleton inside the mesh. And animations, but I thought, oh, it's just a skeleton you animate. And then it hit me when I was working on the Artisans project that actually, there is a totally different and like a crucial step involved as well, which is the weight painting, because without that, it's all gonna just be messed up when making the custom animations. So, yeah. But yeah, I know that Maya has tools that make it a lot easier. So at the moment, we're just using Blender, but I think for the full game, obviously moving to a better quality, well, maybe not better quality software, but like better,
more specialized,
like more specialized, but software would help dramatically.
Maya is definitely more, what's the word?
Animator friendly, in the industry standard.
It's a bit more advanced in the rigging aspect.
Exactly. But yeah, going back on topic, by the way. So yeah, overall, everything that we kind of talked about here with all the animations and the Patreons and stuff like this, and the demo quality is that's basically the aim of it. We don't want the demo to be a quick kind of thing. We're just gonna show that we have a dragon and he can do different things, but they barely work. Because that's not the point. I know some games, they release demos and they're very quick and they're like very kind of, you can see like it was a rushed job in a way, and they're not that high of quality. But what we're trying to show, which might be good or bad, I don't know, is that rather than having a 20-minute demo that is nice and quick and gives you some idea of what the game is, we want to have a kind of like a small game in a way, which will be basically like a playground. So it will show you good quality mechanics, it will show you the gameplay you can expect from the full game, it will show you the quality, the graphics, like, what you can expect. I just want people to see the quality of the demo and be like, the impression that they get after they play the demo. I want to be like, so if they did this for a demo, what are they going to do for the full game?
Especially when you don't have industry experience, you gotta be like, look, I can do it.
Yeah, that's the way.
You guys really set the bar.
So that's the way I want to just kind of sell the idea and sell the demo and sell ourselves that, even though this is our first game, we want it to be really good. We want it to be really good, and we know that quality is important, and we want to get rid of all the bugs. We don't want to have issues where players can fall under the map, for example, and stuff like this.
Oh, that's fun.
Which doesn't really happen on its own. I don't think I've ever fallen under the map, unless there's a hole that I left by accident, in the level actually, But you can't fall through the map. So
no. So far, I don't think there's any way to break through the collision geometry.
I don't think there is. And so that's one thing that I have 33 hours logged, but that's mostly literally going through every square inch trying to find a hole. And I have found there was a lot of holes that were, well, I don't want to say a lot of holes. There was like 3 or 4 that were really known, and 2 of them has been fixed in the first patch because you did patch halfway through, and then I assume you probably patched these other 2 because you're going to be releasing a patch probably later this weekend. And because
tomorrow
there was two holes that I found that you can go into the back rooms of Glyde, which I'm not gonna lie, that was probably one of my favorite parts, is actually going to a place I'm not supposed to be in the game.
Yeah.
And it's just because I've never done this before. I've never had early access to a game before, and I've never purposely tried to break it. I've never just sat down and broke a game. I usually that stuff just randomly happens. So I've never actually sat there and really focused and try to like, okay, I'm going to go through this wall and I'm going to find a way to do it. And let's see if it works. And then when I do, it's like awesome. So not only I know the game on the outside, I basically know the game inside and out. At least where I can physically go with the character. And that's fun.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that you, and that's also one of the blessings and the curse, I guess, of having a big world like this, is that, you know, especially if it's something that people like and enjoy the environment and stuff, they want to see what's beyond, you know, what's behind this mountain, you know, is there actually nothing there, or maybe there is some hidden area and stuff, so people will be trying to break Glyde. I know that.
I love how there was like this cutscene wing just sitting out of bounds.
Yes.
And a chest.
Yes.
It was so funny.
The thing is, I don't even know if he's being used anymore for cutscenes, but I need to check that. But
he's just chilling there.
There is some leftovers.
You got a leftover wing. You got a couple treasure chests that's just randomly hidden that have dragon fruit in them. What else?
The upside down tree.
There's in the training room. There's a leaf ship reference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we've got some stuff. But in general, you know, quality. This is what we want, and this is also one of the reasons why obviously the demo didn't come out in the 2023 for everyone. 2022, because you know, it just wasn't ready, and there is still some stuff we need to do. As I said, I'm hoping to get this out in the first half of this year. So far I think we are on the right track, but obviously I don't know how exactly this is gonna go with all the NPCs and voice acting, because I mean the idea is a little bit crazy, but I want every NPC to be voiced by a different person.
That's a lot of work.
Is that gonna happen?
Yeah.
We don't know, because obviously everyone will have their lines. There will have to be wait for the delivery of those lines, any kind of retakes, stuff like this, and then putting them in the game and testing if they sound right, you know, and yeah, it's gonna be, it might be a longer process than I expect it to be. I think we should be fine, but also there's another thing, which is obviously our private life. So you know, I also
which that comes
have
first.
a job. I also have a baby, and it's just so many things that, you know, if it was a full-time thing that I could just literally wake up every morning and just sit and do Glyde and, you know, and get paid for that, so I can afford rent and everything, that would be good. But you know, it's, you know, we're not there yet. You know, so
It would be so nice.
you know, maybe eventually in the future this will happen, but you know, that will probably be after the demo is finished and out. And then maybe we can secure some form of an investment, or you know, a publisher deal where they would help fund the game, or they could pay us so we can actually work on the game rather than work in retail, for example.
Yes.
Get away from retail.
Your real job will be Glyde. Soon it will happen.
Yeah.
One day.
That is the goal. Just being able to work on this.
Yeah, so there is some ideas I have, but you know, I don't know how viable that's gonna be. I was thinking maybe having some smaller, like, nice and quick, easy, arcadey kind of experience for mobile with Glyde could work, maybe to help raise some funds and stuff. But you know, like mobile game, maybe. But you know, then again, that could potentially delay the actual game. So I don't know, there's some... First, the thing that we're focusing on is the demo. We want to get the demo out as good as possible.
Then we see what happens.
As soon as possible, and then we'll see what happens, and you know, if the Kickstarter is super successful, then yeah, maybe there's no need for any kind of mobile games or anything to raise the money. But you know, we'll see. I guess we'll see. Everything, like, you know, the future is unknown,
Right.
So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But there is some backup plans that I have, and you know, we'll see what we need to do, I guess. But
The sky's the limit.
yeah, exactly. And I don't want to abandon Glyde or the project. That would be just, you know, the worst thing I could do. So I will never do that. I just, you know, regardless of how big the game is gonna be,
The full game is gonna come at some point.
even if it has to be a low budget, like, you know, like an extension of the demo or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We could, like, if that's the case, do it in chapters.
We could, but yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of things.
Yeah,
I think everything. We'll see how it goes after the demo. I mean, I don't want to kind of dwell too much on that, because you know, we never know what's gonna happen until we actually release the thing. And once the demo is out, then the idea would be to move everything that we have and the whole project, convert it into Unreal 5. get that working, and then start building the full game once all the systems are in Unreal 5, and then we can start the full game actually. And obviously we would probably release some patches and updates and bug fixes for the demo as well, because probably people will have to play that until the full game is ready, until we get the demo of the full actual game. But you know, that's gonna take a while, I guess.
I feel like the demo is gonna have quite a long lifespan, especially if we update it and give it like
such how long it is.
Yeah, it's already crazy long, and we do have we do have some very old content that could maybe be brought back in a new format.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like the demo, it could be a small, tiny game. It could be its own it could be like a standalone title, like a spin-off or something. It could even be sold, but obviously you're not gonna do that because it's a demo. But it's like, you know.
One thing that actually blows me away is the fact that how fun the game really is, and the fact that it's lacking dialogue, because you specifically don't have that in the game yet. So I'm really excited. Now, I'm really excited for the dialogue. Now, is that a plan for the full demo, or is that not going to be a plan until the full game?
Oh no, the dialogue is gonna be in the full demo.
Yeah, awesome.
We don't have any dialogue at the moment because we don't want people to read all the dialogue and then
spoilers.
not play the full demo, because you know, if we tell you everything in the dialogue now, it's like, what's the point of playing the full demo then?
Good point.
So it's like, that's why this is something that on purpose has been removed and not added, because you know, then at least, you know, for people who like you, like who have 30 or 50 hours playing this thing, you know, that will motivate you to go back to the demo and actually check out what have you missed, what's new, and you know, what are all those dragons actually talking about now. You know?
Instead of dragon noises,
you know, so they can shed some light on certain things that are happening in the world. They will talk to, you know, they will kind of give you a little bit of lore, and they will give you like their own kind of perspective on the events of you know, of what's happening in the demo and in the world in general. And you know, I think it's you know, I think it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So
it helps giving you some glimpses into what you can expect in the full game. Yeah.
And as I said, I think this is just a playground. This is just purely for testing. So the Patreon build is just for testing purposes and obviously getting feedback, and so we can improve the demo before the actual demo is out. But the full demo will have everything, you know.
That's exciting. I'm
there's still some stuff to be added.
I'm very excited for that. I mean, this so far it's just been a lot of fun. Now, is there anything particularly you want to talk about as far as like some of the funny bugs that you guys encountered? You guys want to mention any of that?
I mean, during the development, there's been obviously a lot of issues and glitches and funny bugs that we had. One of my favorite ones was probably the Elastic Boy glide. You know, like that, where he was like, where he was in the water and he was like getting like I don't know, like he was very like he was getting stretched for some reason. Like he was going, you know, long boy, short boy, long boy, short boy, and then he's like, yeah, he was doing some weird kind of stuff. I think we have a recording of that somewhere.
Yeah, wait. I have the clip somewhere.
So we can. I think I've got it as well. So we can maybe overlay it in the actual video for YouTube as well, so people can see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite funny.
I like the one where he flips, like if you're on a corner of something, he just inverts himself.
Yeah. There was something else that made me laugh, but I can't remember exactly what it was. This is a
oh gosh.
I can't remember, but there was one that made me like literally lol in real life. I was like, how does this happen? But I can't remember what it is. It was so funny.
I'm actually gonna send you guys one right now that I encountered with with the Unidragon.
Right. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, there was the electric dragon that got stretched.
Yes.
Right.
I have nightmares of this thing. The photo mode is definitely one of my favorite features of the game, because you could take any pictures, anything. And actually, I've been using it. There's the picture. I've been using the photo mode for. I mean, I'm sorry. I've been using the photo mode, the photo mode to actually, like, when I break the game, I try to use, like, can I glide to this platform? Yes, I can. So I just kind of, like, especially if it's around the corner, and not only, like, outside the map, but also in the map. If I'm trying to, like, get to a certain area, I'll just kind of use the photo mode that kind of goes, like, can I glide around this corner because there's a chest over here. I want to get to here.
Something there?
Yeah. Because you had secrets. you had some Easter eggs in the game.
We'll see what happens. Maybe with every update I'll add another Easter egg or something.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's classified as an Easter egg, but it is obviously my favorite, and it was that little tablet that 1H put in there that says we need more Koid. That made my night. I mean, that made my whole year. Just seeing that tablet.
That
it's like
made your life.
It did.
Now it's fulfilled.
Yes.
Yes, mission accomplished. Koid is canon.
Koid is canon. Yes. I never thought that koi fish would have. It was just a joke, and it turned into something real. Now there's a GIF being made, or not a GIF. There's an emote being made.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a funny meme, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we like to do cool, funny stuff, and I mean, there's
And Koid is also real.
There's gonna be a lot more things in the full demo as well. So I mean, you'll see. I guess, you know, we can't really say everything because that would ruin the surprise. But you know, it's like, and obviously, it's important to say that everything that you see in the Patreon build is also might not be final, might be removed, might be moved somewhere else and stuff like this. So, you know, we'll see. I guess, you know, but I've got plans. So.
I just found the very first recordings of me testing out Glyde, like right when I got my hands on the build and started working.
Oh wow!
On the first ability. It's so
I've
funny.
also recently discovered on my computer some very like OG, like very test builds, like with the old placeholder model and everything. But yeah, it's funny. I mean, we can probably have a trip down to the memory lane some other episode,
Yep.
where we could like have overlay of all of the old footage and stuff.
That would be very funny. Also, just, you know, yeah, to kind of store it, because right now I have it like I have 1 billion clips probably.
Yeah.
I've got over 200 gigabytes of. I recorded almost every single session that I played. I have over 200 gigabytes of video because I wanted to record bugs. If there's bugs, then I cut a snippet and send it to you guys because you guys were wanting bugs. So I recorded everything, and I'm gonna delete most of it, but I'm going to keep a handful of it. One of them I am going to keep. One of the videos I'm going to keep, even though it was really mean, but I'm going to keep it. When it really sucks, I wanted to post it, but I didn't have my audio recorded for some reason. I had it on a multi-track instead of combined, so my audio was not in the track for some reason. I can't find it. You can hear 1H clear as day in there, but yeah, 1H sucks because he trolled me to fight 3 mages in the training room. My gosh!
Is this the jumping puzzle?
It's a cool puzzle, right?
Yeah. So I cheated because I jumped on the bank because I was trying to, because you just fixed the patch where I can't water slide off the edge of the cliff. So you fixed that. So I'm trying to find another place. 1H, I'm streaming it. 1H is on there. I think he's streaming as well. And I'm on top of I'm on top in the training room. I'm on top of the little mountain area, the little cliff area, and he said, "Hey, go jump on that platform right there." I jump on the platform and I hear a noise. I'm like, "What was that?" He's like, "Now go jump down." It's like, "No. What's wrong?" He's like, "It's okay, just jump down." I jumped down. 3 mages pop. I was like, "What the hell?" I hate you so much, and I literally sat there for like, because I'm still new to the game. I'm still new to the controls. I'm not a gamer, so trying to figure out how to like combo, make these combos and stuff like that. That takes me time to really figure it out. I'm better now, but I wasn't then, so I'm not joking. It's like a 20-minute battle of me fighting these mages, yelling at him the whole time. Unfortunately, you can only hear him laughing. You don't hear my rage.
Did you win?
No, I died. But this dude here thinks it's all funny.
It is very funny.
No, it's not. That sucked.
Because isn't there like a tablet that's just like, "Oh, good job, congratulations, you win," and then it just spawns them in like.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, I started talking to the tablet and it said, they're like, "What?" He said, "No, go jump down."
Here's your reward.
Yeah.
Where's my
Here's your
reward?
reward.
I think we need some more like trolls.
That's enough.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to add something with platforms, but because I didn't know what to add as a reward, because we were like out of reward items, I just put that, and I was like, that's gonna be funny.
No, it wasn't.
Man.
It is very funny.
So one thing I have learned, and I'm either very gullible, which is probably the possibility, or 1H is just a madman. But yeah, he's been trolling me ever since. And just recently, he's trying to fix the save where the save is duplicating, and I'm talking to him while I'm at work, and he's like,
I'm sorry.
And you know, and this is where I say I might be gold, because I was like, you want me to try anything? He's like, yeah, go ahead and in the game, just save multiple times, like over and over and over and over and over and over again. Log out of the game, come back in, see what happens. So I timed it and everything. It loaded in 30 seconds from the main menu to the game. 30 seconds. Okay. I basically saved 55 times. Exit the game. Now it's 1 minute and 30 seconds. Oh, guess what? It stays.
Yeah.
It doesn't... I thought if you leave the game completely and come back in, it'll be fine. No. Every time it does that. And now it's really having an impact on my game, because now it's lagging a little bit. It's like, oh great, now I need to do this patch. Dang.
Don't worry. Tomorrow, hopefully, it'll be fixed.
So
yeah, I mean, it's gonna help us a lot, and it's kind of. I know it was a little bit of a troll as well. I'm sorry that I broke your save. But hey, now we know what's wrong.
Yeah.
At least we know that actually this is what happens, because I mean, well, thanks. A big shout out to Scott as well. Scott
is Scott finding out about.
He's a wizard, and he helped us to find some real bugs and issues that we were not aware of. So, including the save issue. So, now hopefully this
duplicated save data. Like what even?
This should be fixed, but yeah. Hopefully that's the last saving issue, but you know, to be continued, I guess, because I mean, we say that every time.
Every time, and then something new happens. It's so difficult to keep track of so many states of so many objects. Make sure every object has the right state every time.
One last thing I want to mention, and then I'll let you guys. You know, I'll try to stay quiet after this, because it's so much to talk about. But one other thing I want to mention real quick is the co-op and PvP mode of the game.
Right.
That was something you guys threw together literally just before a stream a while ago, a few months ago, or actually I think it was longer than that. And it's accessible in the demo, and I've been able to try that with a friend Woen, and I even did with Scott a little bit, because he's never done it before, and we were just doing PvP and co-op mode. Found a lot of weird glitches and bugs because it was just thrown in there, but that is a lot of fun. I like that mode.
Yeah, so I mean, so this is actually something that we kind of thought about. Like, I mean, 1H actually kind of, you know, said that, you know, this is a possibility.
I programmed most of the stuff with the intent of that being possible if we for some reason wanted co-op in the future, so it wouldn't be like absolute hell to implement.
So you mentioned that it's possible and that we could potentially do it, and I was like, you know, as long as it doesn't break the actual, like, player one, as long as it doesn't break the single player aspect of the game, I mean, why not give it a go and see what happens? I mean, that's usually the approach I have, like, you know, whenever there's like a big kind of system or a huge rework happening, I always I'm a bit cautious now, because I got PTSD from some other stuff that we did, and it broke other stuff, and it was like, and it took ages to fix, and it's like, you know, the worst feeling is when you have something working perfectly, and then we do some minor change somewhere, and it breaks that other thing, and it's like you don't know how and why, and then you fix that thing that you just did, but the old thing is still broken, and then you need to find out why and how, and it's like, it's so crazy. That's why I'm more worried. But anyway, so I gave green light to 1H. I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, if you can get it working, why not? And we can try it out on stream. I'm sure it'll be fun.
I've never had I never had a more crazy 2 hours session.
Plus the thing is the thing is, and about that stream, it's actually we didn't really test it before. It was like kind of like live.
Oh wow!
So we just went. we just knew it's gonna work. So we were like, you know, so we done a little bit surprise. On the stream, I was like, you know, so what if there could be 2 of Glyde, you know? And then I turned on the co-op, and then 1H jumped in, and then we played around. And then it also, I can't remember if we done PvP on that stream or not. I don't think it was in yet.
We didn't really do much. Like, we tested it briefly.
Maybe,
and then,
but it turned out it was working.
Yeah, we went into the bonus arenas and fought a lot.
Yeah. And then it turned out it did work, so that's good. And yeah, I mean, while this is still a lot, you know, there's very heavy work in progress, and there is a lot of issues and bugs and stuff like this. You know, this is something that we could potentially work on more, and we could make it better and improve. I mean, I've been talking on that of that on the stream as well, but I've got a lot of ideas of how we could actually implement like a separate modes into the full game. Like, you know, you would have a like a campaign mode or whatever you would call it. And then you could also have additional, not like paid DLC, but like DLC that we could add later on, where, for example, it would allow multiplayer modes where you would have like competitive, like capture the objective. Like, let's say, you know, people would play different modes, like in teams, you know, or you know, or even 1v1. You know, there would be like some, I would call it like, not maybe battle royale or whatever, but like something
like
that
Team Rumble.
Like kind of like, well, actually that just for the note here, this was before the Crash game was announced. But basically similar ideas. I had an idea where, you know, there would be each player would have like a chest with crystals, and then you guys would like have to kill monsters, or like you know, basically fight with zombies and you know, enemies, and you defeat them. They drop crystals. You need to bring your crystals back to your chests, but then also the players of the opposite team, you know, they could attack you and you could fight with them, and you would drop your crystals and stuff like this. And, you know, so there would be like PvP, PvE kind of mode where people could play together. And then another thing I had an idea for is like to actually have like a semi-open world social MMO slash you know, like kind of like VR chat, but in Glyde, where you are, but not in VR. So you're basically like in a big kind of open, semi-open world, like let's say of the size of the demo level, and you can do everything. You can run around, you can fight enemies, you can fly around with no restrictions and stuff, and then you can actually have like voice chats. So you can go with your friends and you can go to this place and you can sit and like watch how weather, or like how the day goes, you know, so go see a sunset and just chill and, you know, kind of like talk with people while flying around this world and, you know, doing some stuff, you know, kind of like little tiny MMO, but, you know, not huge. Or even making a bigger world, like, you know, for bigger like MMO kind of, like, you know, there's all those survival kind of games like Ark and stuff like this, where you could become, you know, but except it would be nice and colorful, and it would be in the Glyde universe and stuff. So there's so many things I think that we could potentially add when the full game is out, and we could expand the Glyde, because as I said, I don't know if I said that before, but I treat Glyde not as one game. I treat Glyde, I mean the whole IP, I want it to be a universe. So I don't want Glyde to just be one game. I want there to be, you know, this game, and then maybe a next game, and maybe a spin-off about the character that's in a short story that we're also working on, and then we could maybe have another game with a totally different twist on it, so maybe it wouldn't have the same gameplay, but like, and that also goes into those mobile games. You know, we could have Glyde. I'm thinking of Glyde as a brand and as a universe, as a world, like what World of Warcraft did and still do. Like, you know, they have World of Warcraft books, they got World of Warcraft like comics, they got merchandise and stuff like this, and that's what I would like Glyde to become as well. I want Glyde to be like the game and the brand that people go to when they think about the best dragon game. So that's what the idea is.
Hey, what about capture the dragon fruit?
Yeah, I mean, we can have that. Yes. We can like
capture the dragon fruit.
Yeah, we can even have like, you know, there's so many things. I just got endless ideas. I mean, you know, obviously every game, like all the games that we played, you know, most of the games do similar sort of thing. But like I really love like how Monster Hunter, for example, deals with like housing, so you have your own kind of base. So I was thinking that it'd be cool if in Glyde you could have your own cave, Glyde's home, and you would actually collect animals, like little kind of you could have like some funny flying caterpillar thing, and you could capture that and you can actually release it in your cave, so you would be flying around. You can make it your own, and maybe also like collecting pets, so you can have a pet following you. I mean, a long wing, maybe some like customizable kind of features for Wing as well, like giving him like a top hat or something. It's so many cool ideas and collectibles that I have in mind, that I'm really hoping that this game works out, because it's just, it can be nice and big and fun. And I think I went off track. I don't even know what we were talking about now. Oh well,
just went on.
Anything you guys want to add about things you want to just mention as far as the early access demo, or do you guys want to just get right back into go right into the main topic?
I could add a little bit about at least from the dev side, I guess. At least going on around in December, we had a lot of preparations to be done just to make sure that the delivery of this Patreon build would, be really good as well. And speaking of all of these bugs and issues, it's very hard to like actually prepare for just how many things that could potentially be wrong. So always overestimate how bad it is, I would say. If anyone listening who's planning to work on their own game, like before releasing, just expect it to be really bad, like on release. Like there's probably gonna be quite a few issues going on. Especially with the most complex of systems that you might include in your game. So, yeah.
I think I can quickly add on that. I was trying to be quick, but basically, to be honest, from my point of view, I don't. Yeah, like you said, you should technically like overestimate and see, and think that there will be more than you expect, which is true. But I also, in terms of Glyde, I actually haven't. I don't think there's that many issues that we actually expected, to be honest. I'm positively surprised. Yes,
True.
There is a lot of bugs and things that are not meant to be like they are, but it's not huge issues. It's very tiny issues that are very easy fixes. So we've already released 2 patches that were big. 2 or 1 patch? I can't even remember anymore. I think it was 2
patches. Yeah,
2 patches. 2 patches, but they fixed pretty much all of it. And now we only have remaining issues and smaller bugs that also will get fixed in this patch. And so yeah, I mean, the thing is, with bugs and issues, there's always going to be bugs and issues, because we don't play test everything like the players would, and everyone plays differently. They take different paths, they do different things. We also play the game so much more that we used to certain things, and we don't actually realize that this might be something that will bother people, or other way around, something
especially when it comes to difficulty,
or something that we think that might be annoying for players. We think, oh, maybe that needs to be fixed, but then we release a build or an update, and actually no one mentions it. So, or they're actually happy with the feature or how it feels or looks. So I think there's 2 sides of the coin. But yeah, there's never enough bugs, and there will always be bugs. So just be prepared to fix them.
Yes, know your game well. I would say so. You can kind of see where it might go wrong whenever something shows up. Because I think that's what we have been really good at, right? Like in terms, whenever we see a bug in the reports, and my God, some of them just came quickly, but not as quick as we probably expected. Like day 1, I was like, "There's gonna be 100 bugs," but it was like 40 or 50 or something.
I don't even think it was that much.
But they were tiny. They were tiny. Oh, I mean,
they were tiny, and there were also like duplicates, like several reports of the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think that we have been surprisingly good at addressing those and knowing just where to look.
I think, to be honest, yeah. So that's probably the best advice that we can give. avoid spaghetti code. Avoid having, literally, like, if you know where stuff is in your code, and you know, like, you know, if you keep stuff, like, contained, like, you know, if this barrel, you know, is explosive, you have an explosive barrel blueprint or, like, code, and you know where to look for issues with that particular barrel. While if you have, you know, 20 or 30, 50 things linked to each other via code, and they all referenced by another, if one thing is break, you'll break all those 50 things. And so just try to avoid all that, I guess, and just try to keep it all nice and
check.
Oh my!
Don't do the thing that I just sent in the chat.
What the
don't
hell
do this.
is that?
and always comment and make sure that all the codes is visible for others. And that's pretty much that.
Awesome.
Spaghetti.
Legendary, do you have anything to add to that?
I think everything's been covered. I'm not gonna hold up
All right.
any longer.
All right, so one thing before we get to the main topic, I want to mention here, during the whole holiday season, I went through your Twitter page. I was stalking you there, and so I noticed on Twitter back in December 3rd of 2021 that the Steam page was now live, and you talked about the demo release sometime in 2022. Now, unfortunately, you know, life gets in the way, and we all know that wasn't able to happen, but you still were able to release an early access for your Patreon supporters, tier 3 and higher. So basically, how do you feel from that of a year ago to, you know, the progress you have made from then to now? Like, did you see yourself actually where you're at now a year ago?
Yeah, so I mean, so that's probably one of the mistakes that I've made in terms of, like, actually saying that the game might be out in 2022. Obviously, I mean, at least people are kind of understanding in this kind of space where, because it's an indie game and it's also like our first game, you know, things get in the way, and I guess people are probably conditioned by all the AAA titles also being delayed nowadays, so it didn't sound like a big deal for a lot of people. More people are actually very supportive. You know, they keep quoting, you know, the quote that, you know, a good game. No, a delayed game will eventually be good.
Is it Miyamoto?
Yes, that one. So, you know, which is quite nice. But yeah, this is probably one of the hardest things to do as well. And I've learned that while working on Glyde is that it's very hard to predict what's going to happen. And, you know, you can aim for certain things, but, you know, there's so many different factors that, you know, contribute to the actual... you know, to the project, that, you know, if one thing gets moved a week, you know, that will impact other things and move everything else a week as well. And it's so hard to kind of make sure that, you know, everything is ready by a certain date, especially when you're like halfway through the thing. I mean, now, for example, what we're gonna do is, once we know that the demo is like pretty much ready, then we just say, look, there's the release date, and that's when you're gonna be able to play this. While before, what I did is, like, I felt that we should have enough time to finish the thing and get it out, but obviously that didn't happen, because, you know, it turns out being a dad is also taking a little bit more time than I expected, and you know, we got, again, festive periods like Christmas and you know, again, my retail work, you know, which usually gets busier over Christmas, so I didn't have a lot of time to work on Glyde. So that's why I thought, you know, releasing
last year. Last year I was also doing my bachelor thesis at university. So that was, you know, I didn't have all that much time, and despite that, I was probably also being very optimistic, thinking like, sure, we can probably pull it off in the summer. But yeah, it just there was a bit more to work with than expected, and that's just how it is, I guess.
It's just life gets in the way, and I mean, sometimes, you know, you don't understand the fact that sometimes people wonder, it's like, oh, how can this game be delayed? You know, there's like and thousands of people working on this one. It's an AAA title or something. But I mean, it's hard to do with not enough people, but I would assume it's also really hard to do with a lot of people, because, you know, everyone's responsible for different things, and it all kind of works together, and it's just, you know, it's just hard. But yeah, I mean, I've been really happy that we managed to release the build for the Patreons, and people can actually, you know, play and see and feel the version that we gave them at the moment, because it's very close to the actual final demo build, except it's just missing a lot of things.
We're close, but we're just missing a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, we're missing a lot of things that were also removed on purpose and not included on purpose, like the dialogues that we mentioned earlier, you know. But the actual layout of the level is pretty much there. Only some things need to be kind of added and adjusted, but, you know, we're closer than further, I guess. Yeah, so, you know, it's just now what I've learned is just I'm not gonna give any specific date. I'm hoping to get it all out in the first half of this year, and we are on the right track, but you know, we don't know what's gonna happen, so it'll be out this year definitely, like 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
if I'm not gonna release this game this year, I'm just gonna quit.
No, don't do that.
Just,
Don't do
but
that.
it will be out. It will be out. Like, I have, you know, it has to be. So, but yeah, so I'm just hoping that, you know, the Patreon build gave people, you know, an idea,
a good taste,
and a good taste of the game, and you know, and it actually shows that we are working on it, and it shows the quality that we're trying to get, and achieve, and it also shows why we might be struggling with releasing it all the time, or we actually had to delay the thing because, you know, it's just, there's a lot of work, more than we expected.
Yeah, one thing I think is really good is that we have been giving people patch notes. So like people can follow also the reports. So it's like there's been all of these reports, and then we were working pretty intensely right after the Patreon build was released on just addressing all of those. So people actually get to see that there are all of these issues that we want to ensure aren't in the full experience when everyone has to, you know, play through it. Make it as good as possible. Highest possible quality.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so that leaves us into the main topic here. So, main topic of this show is, who is Valefor Games? So these questions are mostly directed to Valefor, however, you other two could pipe in.
I'll try to be quick with those because they actually kind of relate to each other anyway, so I'll probably answer most of them in like...
All right, so question one here, what is Valefor Games? What is it? What are you?
So yeah, Valefor Games, it's basically just the name of the studio. I mean, I'm Valefor, and I make games, so it's Valefor Games. Yeah.
All right, summed it up.
I know
awesome.
that's bright, but yeah, that's basically what it is. So yeah, it's just a studio name, or a company name, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, that's what we registered at here in UK as well. So, you know, when I finally have enough funds to like maybe employ people and actually pay everyone, then you could maybe one day proudly say, "Oh, I work at Valefor Games." And,
hell yeah!
I'm working on the games. Yeah.
So the next question would be, where did you come up with the name Valefor? So before you answered that, what I always thought was, and it's kind of funny, it's ironic here, is I always thought you got the name from Malefor, which is from The Legend of Spyro.
No.
And
No.
then I found that you never played The Legend of Spyro and think, well, how the heck did you come up with that? So, but then you explained it to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, some people asked that and they already kind of figured that one out as well. I mean, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, and in Final Fantasy X there is a creature like a salmon that's called Valefor, and I really like the name, so I just used that, I guess. There's nothing super special or amazing about this one. So yeah, I just kind of, because that creature is kind of like, I mean, you can maybe put an overlay of the image on the video as well, so people know what I mean. But basically, that summon kind of looks like a dragon. I guess it's closer to a bird, or like, it's kind of like a hybrid, I guess. But yeah, so it kind of reminded me. I always thought when I was a kid, I thought it's a dragon, and then I really liked how the name sounded, so I just used that as my online kind of nickname, and then based on that I just made Valefor Games. So that's why, basically.
I just looked it up, and that's I don't know what that is.
I know there is also something interesting about this. It seems that I mean, that's a fun fact. I've only found that out recently as well. I think it's spelled differently though. It's like, oh no, it could be spelled Valefor. So basically, it turns out it's also a demon. And in demonology,
that was a demon.
Valefor is a Duke of Hell, and he tempts people to steal, and he's in charge of good relationship among thieves, which is a good one, I guess.
What?
Oh no!
I'm not a scammer, guys. I'm not a scammer. What? I only found this out. I just typed in Valefor in Google and it showed up. I was like, oh,
dragon fruits.
Oh no! All of those conspiracy people are gonna be like, actually, Valefor Games is like this huge scam.
Yeah. But
working for NASA.
Let's move on to the next one.
So next one is, when did you come up with Valefor Games, and what was your intentions? So like time frame, and what were you planning on?
I mean, again, a couple years back. What for? I think that was. I think the actual company. I think I registered that in like 2 years ago. I think. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, to be honest. I think it was about 2 years ago.
When you actually fully registered it?
And the main reason for that was to actually protect Glyde intellectual property and the trademark and everything, because and also to just appear more serious about everything, because if I plan on to making money in the future from Glyde and stuff like this, then it also has to all be reported to the government, so they can take the taxes and everything, and I don't want to go to jail, so this is just one of those things that kind of had to be done. But I also own the trademark for Glyde, and I also own the copyright. It's registered intellectual property with the government as well, so I actually now have proper kind of power over the trademark and everything, and who can use it, who cannot use it, and if and I can actually legally make money out of Glyde merchandise and stuff like this if I ever want to do it in the future and stuff like this. So yeah, it was all part of the kind of all the legal kind of requirements and processes in order to become a game studio. Plus, you also need to be either self-employed or you have to be a registered company to actually use Steam as marketplace to release the game and stuff like this. So.
All right, question 4. This is a question brought up by a user named Ubiquitous, who's on the Glyde server. It's also a Patreon. What are some challenges you've encountered, if any?
So I guess this is probably for everyone. I would like, from my point of view, I think the biggest challenge was actually. So I still struggle with this, but I think my biggest challenge personally is to stop trying to add more things and actually finish the demo, rather than adding more cool features and fixing, and maybe not fixing everything, but pimping everything out, making sure that everything is all nice and colorful and all the new effects, and like reworking grass 10 times and placing it all over again, and there's so much time goes into actually revisiting things that we've done, and they work. But I'm like, oh, maybe I can just add this extra sound effect here. I can make this look a little bit better when it explodes. Maybe this can be a little bit quicker when it drops on the ground. And it's just small things like this that are good quality of life changes, and I mean they could be done as a patch, but I just keep backtracking on things, and and I can make something and then I will delete the thing and redo it all over again because I didn't like how it works, or so yeah, I think for me it's just, I think the letting go aspect is the hardest probably. Just let it go, Val. Just leave this barrel alone. It already explodes when you break it. Just leave it. Just leave it. But I'm like, no, maybe I can make it explode in more pieces, or like, it's stupid.
Valefor?
Yeah.
Valefor? How many times did you rework the whole demo level?
I don't know. Too many, and I'm still not happy with it. And I can tell you that this is also something that I think about a lot, but I'm just trying to kind of conquer it now. I'm just like, no, it has to stay like this. I would change it. I would make it different now. It's gonna be different in the full game. Like the full game is gonna be different. So this is separate. So I'm just trying to leave it as it is. Even though I would change it, I would make it bigger. But
oh no,
I don't want. But I know that I can't do this anymore. So I'm just trying to kind of, finish what we have. Even though I don't like certain parts, and I would make them different now and change them, I'm gonna keep them because I just don't want to take another year or two on making this demo. But,
yes.
So for me,
it's really good.
So that's the hardest for me, and also an advice I can give when working on a demo, but also I guess in general for games, is like, everything can be improved endlessly, so that you have to be able to draw the line and just say stop at certain point. And be like, you can keep working on something constantly and try to make it as perfect as possible, but there will always be room for improvement no matter what you do. So sometimes you just have to say that's good enough and I need to move on to a new thing, because then you'll be stuck in this endless loop. And you just keep reworking things and redoing them over and over and over again. But there will always be something that you want to change about them. So yeah, that's my advice, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah. Any challenges on others? Yeah.
I think my biggest issue is probably just, being a bit inconsistent with how good I am at working on this stuff. Some days I have no idea like what I'm doing or what I should be doing. But other days I'm like, let's make a whole saving system.
Which is also probably one of the biggest challenges as well.
Yeah, it's like it works really well when it has to, but at the same time I feel like some days I could have been doing much more than I would probably want.
I think that's called burnout, to be honest. I mean, I've had that often as well. Like,
when is it burnout? When is it me not being, motivated or something?
You want to work on something, but then you actually open the project and you just sit there and you're like, can't be bored. It's like
I take like 2 hours just changing some moves for the Blight Guardian, for example. Yeah. Like 2 hours just changing some numbers, and I'm like, why did this take me 2 hours?
Yeah, exactly. So, Griffin, I'm curious about you. Like NPC challenges. I mean, I think they're all challenging, probably.
Okay. Well, when I first started, I think I redid the rig 3 times. Because you never know what's going to screw up, and rigging is probably one of those things where it is the most monotonous trial and error things. You have to just keep like pushing forward and redoing things. I'm not I know how to do it in Blender, but it's and I know how to do it in Maya. Blender has a bit of a different system on how it works, and I think also I have to make sure of the bone hierarchy and stuff like that too for Unreal, but I think that hasn't been an issue so far.
I remember the only thing we had with there was this funny issue with was it with the eyes, I think?
The eyes. Oh god, the eyes.
Some of the eyes on the NPCs, they were like a little bit weird. Like some of the eyes were like kinda, they were just misaligned with certain models. They have different shaped heads. And
that's the main issue.
And the
which is why we had to do the different rigs separate.
Because then, let's say, because if we tried to move the rig from Water Dragon, for example, into the Earth Dragon, and that Earth Dragon had a different head, the eyes that are rigged to the Water Dragon rig would be like inside Earth Dragon's head, for example, because they're linked here because they tied those bones, and that's why.
And the actual jaw would be higher up, which meant that if the mouth closed, it would be clipping inside it, and there was just a bunch of weird things. Yeah. Actually, I'm not even sure. Because we definitely can have like a universal rig for certain like body types, but in terms of heads, because if you've got a water dragon, right, which has fins on the side of its heads, I'm sure for the full game you'd want those fins to be like movable,
to kind of like wobble a little.
So I don't know if you would add that in Unreal as like extra bones on top of that for like physics-based movement, or if you would prefer that like hand done or something. We'll have to figure that out at some point. But it's like a lot of alignment stuff is.
I'm just wondering, like, how would you actually do that? Like, in some games, or just for some animated characters, they have like frills or something like that, where it goes like erratic when they're shocked or something like that.
It could be a part of that specific animation, I think, or, I mean, there's a lot of things and tricks you can do in Unreal as well. I mean, you can even use material shaders to simulate movement or on things. Like, like often, like when you have a game and it has a flag, let's say, right? You have a flag that waves on the wind. It's not the flag that's animated. The flag is literally just the flag, but it's a shader that makes it look like it actually flows on the wind. So it's just a material. So there's so many things, and like that's why you also have like those I can't remember how this role is called now, but it's like tech artists, I think they're called, or something like that, where they basically work with shaders and they do some like proper like
magic,
weird
like magic,
wizard magic with the shaders, where they where normally you would think it's actually an animated thing, but it's all done inside the shader. It just rotates the part of the texture, and then it does this and that, and so there's a lot of those cool things that can be achieved. So there's a couple techniques that something like that could be done with, but
I feel like if you have something with more limbs and more like if it had a second pair of wings, or if it had like two tails, or like like a lot of extra attributes, that's when you probably would have to have like the one-off rig that's different. You probably would have like a rig for, or probably a different rig for each primordial, because they would probably be very specific
they're
to
all different
sections. But the main NPCs, I'm pretty sure NPCs you can get away with a lot.
Of the same.
That's
some kind of character customization.
There is something I wonder about, and I need to kind of find out. Actually, maybe you even know this, but I don't know if this is more for the actual 3D artist question. But like, if we had a rig made, could I send that rig to an artist, and then he would make a model around that rig? So like so he would use the same rig for every model that he makes, and then he would just model around the rig so it can be reused?
Nah, it wouldn't work like that. You need
because it all still has to be weighted, right?
You don't need to send the rig, but you need to send appropriate character turnarounds. So what you'd need is that extra step of so we've just been giving the head NPC stuff to the artist. What you would need is a full like side view, front view, and like a quarter view. And what you can do is use those as like have a base one, and then you can have like your concept artist or whoever to like actually draw over them, keep the eyes the same and where the mouth is the same, but just finesse those features. That would be the best bet. I reckon.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, we'll definitely have to rework the approach for the full game.
I'm just it makes me wonder how character customization stuff works. Where you
that's all modular. So that's the modular aspect, which could potentially work. So basically, what that is, I will quickly explain. Is let's say you have a dragon, and you cut the dragon apart. So you cut the wings, you cut the tail, you cut the head, but it's all in the same rig. It's basically a single model, but then, so it's all rigged to the same, like, so the eyes and everything stays in one place, but just those specific parts are getting swapped out. So you can swap them out in engine, and then you can change the tail. The rig and the animations stay exactly the same, but the actual mesh parts changes. So that's the modular aspect. But the thing with the modular things is that they need to be very specifically made for that purpose, because all the characters would have to be cut apart, and all of them, they would have to work with those particular bones and everything. That's why it's very expensive, and it's a very long process as well.
It might actually be better to do it the other way.
I don't know. I mean, with enough budget, you just need to have, it's a lot more work on the 3D artist kind of parts rather than animator, I think, because then the animator just works on one rig, which is separated in more bones, I guess. But then we just have the parts. So I mean, it makes it all easier in the long run. It's just the initial, making all the parts and cutting the NPCs is what's gonna be the most kind of time consuming, I guess. But I mean, this is something I was thinking about. The modular approach would definitely be a good kind of thing to go for, but not for the demo, definitely.
That's interesting.
It definitely sounds like full game material. Okay, very interesting. I have no idea how that stuff works. Nice.
All right, so this was another suggestion question from Wowen. So, why did you start with a big game right from the beginning instead of collecting experiences, skills, and knowledge with a smaller one? I added, Artisans was a start, but it was only a practice demo.
Yeah, so I mean, to be honest, that one should be quite simple. So, Glyde was meant to be a smaller game overall. It was basically meant to be kinda like a Spyro clone, I would say. It was meant to share very similar, simple gameplay and similar kind of size, small levels. Originally it was also meant to be 4 elements. That was actually something that was I was inspired by. Enter the Dragonfly, which is quite funny because it's like the worst Spyro game, but I really liked the idea of like electric breath, and then there was this useless bubble breath, and then you had some other elements to it, to Spyro. So I just wanted to expand it and like turn it, basically just take it to the 11 with Glyde. So rather than having just electric breath, you would actually change the whole dragon would change, so you would enter a totally different form and you have totally different abilities and stuff. But so in short, I mean, yes, Glyde was meant to be a lot smaller experience in a smaller game as well. But then, and it was also being basically used as a learning experience as well. But then as we started getting better and better at everything, and we started to actually realize, what we do, and we know how to kind of code things now and everything, it just started to grow, and the project kind of just expanded naturally. So it wasn't originally what we set out for, but it just grew and evolved into what it is now. And I'm happy with how it is now, and I also want to make it even bigger. I know that it's probably the worst decision for people to make if they're making their full game. You see a lot of those on YouTube where people are making their full projects, they're making their first project, and they are actually making them a huge open world MMORPG, or they're making it a huge open world RPG, which takes thousands of people to make normally, but they want to all do it on their own, and it usually ends at that. You see a video of one map of that character running around and hitting something, and that's it. So here we are going smaller in scale, which will be increasing over time as the budget grows and stuff like this. But what we kind of focus on now is nailing down all the mechanics, making sure the gameplay flow is good and it works and it's fun. And then, we made the level. So now I'm pretty happy with the state we're on, and I'm quite confident that we can use the demo as a base for the full game, even without reworking most of the systems. and we can just use that as a base and just make new levels and obviously add level specific mechanics and stuff like this. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't really a choice that we kind of made to start with a big game. It just naturally kind of evolved into this big project, which sometimes it did feel, at certain stages, it did feel like it was a little bit overwhelming. But since we released the Patreon build and and we kind of took shape, it actually feels like something that we can manage to do, and especially all the feedback and the positive kind of feedback that we had from the Patreons and all the players, it reinforces that we are heading in the right direction. So I don't want to overshoot anything, so the plan for the full game is that we will try to keep the scale of the project as relevant as we can, and we will also keep it as big as we can, but within the budget. We'll try to, so if it's, I'm not gonna promise a huge huge real life Earth-sized world, just because, because I know we're not gonna be able to do this. But I know that we can make it something that's like bigger than Spyro Reignited in terms of the level size. Maybe not amount of levels, but the actual size of a single level, like that demo is already a lot bigger than, let's say, Artisan's homeworld. But I know we won't be able to do World of Warcraft, for example, so I'm gonna try to keep it realistic. But yeah, so basically, to wrap that on that, is Glyde is a bigger game that we initially set out to make, but it evolved into this, like, as we were working on it, and it's something that we know we can manage.
Yes, I also feel like that a lot of these opportunities just arose during development. I think my biggest thing was when we were talking initially, how many elements do we give Glyde and how many abilities should each element have? And then we wound up with like 3 abilities for each element, plus breath, plus melee attacks, maybe, plus projectiles, plus ultimate, and then 8 elements. I was like, okay. Who's gonna program all of those abilities?
Yeah, because I know there was this idea, there was this talk, and then you were like, so we got 4 elements. I mean, we could do more.
Could do more.
I'm like, okay. So I mean, why don't we do 8?
2 Spyros in 1.
And then it all kind of evolved, and it was like 1H is like someday he just mentions like, so I mean the system works. So I mean, we could have like aerial abilities as well, because it's just and then I was like, okay, so why don't we have every element and every ability have an area variant of some sorts? And then then
we found out that some of the elements actually, the ability they had, like for example fire element, those abilities work really well in the air as well. So there was no reason to
not
aerials.
Yeah, so not every ability is unique in the air, but there are some abilities that are like totally different moves that are in the air, right? So. Yeah. But because of that, because obviously with every
we found some very convenient ways of working.
Yeah.
Like work smart, not hard, I guess.
Exactly.
Or work smart and hard at the same time, rather.
So,
but also because with just a final thing. But also just with every element, if we ever were to add something in the future, it multiplies everything, because we have one element introduces like around 8 new moves, for example, right? So including like projectile and breath attacks. So that's like so that's how the jump from 4 to 8 actually doubled, or even kind of tripled everything, because we then got ideas for multiple variants of different moves and stuff like. So yeah, I mean, it all kind of just builds on that, I guess. Where we set out to do a smaller kind of project, Spyro-like, and then we kind of ended up with a totally different game.
So basically, it was not supposed to be big, but it ended up being pretty large.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It evolved.
Yeah. We capitalized on these opportunities that came along from when we worked on this stuff. I just, found out, okay, it's totally possible to go bigger. And we wouldn't lose much by doing so. And lo and behold, we didn't. Worked out pretty well, I'd say.
All right. Anything else on that one?
Actually, one more final.
right.
So yeah, the good thing about what we're doing is the fact that we can go bigger, but we don't have to sacrifice other elements of the game, because now the base is solid and the gameplay loop is really good. So we can make a huge level and it would still work with all the gameplay elements that we already made. So, now the scale is just the matter of how much how big we want to go, and what would players have to do in this big world, So yeah, that's the only thing.
Upgrades and such. Yeah, so you kind of just build on top of what's already there.
Yeah.
You can possibly swap out different abilities in the future. That's one of the ideas, at least.
Cool.
Something like that. But we'll see where that goes, I guess.
All right. Next question to last. This is a question from Wowan. Were there any plans to start into development with another game developer instead of going out on your own?
You mean like a different developer in terms of like a different studio or something, or?
Yeah, well, like someone that has experience in doing this and to like partner up with someone else.
I mean, so how it started. I mean, I started on my own because to be honest, I didn't really even think about looking for people at the beginning, because I was like, I didn't know what I'm doing. I was learning, and I was like, so why would I pitch an idea to someone and try to drag someone into something that I don't even know if it's gonna happen fully? I didn't even realize that, I didn't even know that Glyde is actually gonna become something that's gonna work out so well. So I was like, I was just working on this thing at home, learning the process, because I was alone at the beginning, I had to focus on everything. I had to do textures, I had to do materials, I had to work in Blender, I had to make the models, I had to learn how to texture everything myself. I had to, come up with the ideas and try to program stuff myself. And then, I don't think I thought that anyone would be interested in this, because it was just like a side kind of project at home. But then obviously the Artisans demo kind of happened, and I met Lawrence. That he was like the first person who approached me on Unreal Engine Discord, because I was struggling with something and I was asking a question, I was looking for help, and he was the only person that actually responded. And then I remember that was really cool, because like he asked me to obviously go TeamViewer with him so he can help me with the code, and I was so worried that he's just gonna delete my project or something or try to steal it because I never used TeamViewer before. But then obviously you're letting someone control your computer, so I was like, oh, dragon fruit. What if this guy is gonna try to ruin my thing because he's gonna see that it's something cool? But he actually really liked the fact that it was Spyro and stuff, and we started talking, and turned out he was a programmer professionally, so he actually works in a studio working on actual games, and he helped me with some things that I was really struggling with. Obviously he's very busy, and he didn't really have time to help me with everything and code everything, but he was always there for me when I needed help, which was really cool. And then after the Artisans demo, then 1H approached me because he liked the project as well.
This guy.
And I mean, we went over that in the last episode, so probably not gonna repeat all this, but and then he had similar ideas and similar kind of passion for a project like this, especially because
I always wanted to make like some kind of dragon game in the future, but I saw the opportunity early and decided to jump on board.
And obviously the music skills, that was also something I was looking for as well, because then initially you joined for the soundtracks obviously, but then it turned out you also do coding, which is really good. And then then we kind of started working as a two-man team with Lawrence's help in like where we literally couldn't figure something out. And then I can't remember, I think then Griffin, you were I think the third that joined, right? I mean second after the 1H. I think that was you. And then I think Mythic, the concept artist, and then we had Rurik and Shooter, and then and then Yuffie also, the UI artist. So it's basically everyone just kind of got interested in the project, and so I didn't actually recruit anyone myself everyone just came to me, and this is what I really like about this, because like, you know, it wasn't like people, it wasn't me like begging or like, you know, looking for people and like DMing everyone and be like, hey, would you like to work on my project and stuff. It was like actually people believing in what I'm making and them offering their help, and that's what I'm really happy with, because I know that we are all doing this because we're passionate about it, and it's not like, you know, just because it's, you know, it's just another gig or something, you know, it's something that we all kind of see that we can all benefit from this and stuff.
Right.
And obviously important thing to mention is obviously the fact that, you know, we're not all getting paid for this. Like,
free
this
labor,
is like, you know, Patreon is used to collect money and so basically, you know, we all kind of doing this in our free time for free.
Yeah.
Patreon is to collect money for the full game, but also to, you know, to pay for stuff like, you know, the community server, so the Discord Nitro for the server Nitro, and then, you know, paying for the servers that we keep the game on,
website,
hosting of the websites and everything like this, but also to pay, because, you know, everyone that's part of the team, it's you know, it's really nice that they want to, you know, they don't mind getting paid later once we actually get some significant amount, like, you know, either from the full game or when we get the funding from a publisher or something. But there are some people who are, you know, who just can't do that, and you know, they're like freelance, or, you know, so, you know, and they have to, they either want, you know, they won't be able to do anything unless they get paid, because they don't have time or they work somewhere else, and this is like, you know, so, you know, obviously that's also what Patreon is used for, all like assets. If we need to get like some special effects, you know, and they're quite expensive, we can get those and stuff like this. So, you know, but that's what I'm really happy with about the team, is that we're in it from the passion, and because we believe in the project, and we believe that one day we can all get paid from this, and that's why we're all doing our you know, we're doing our best, you know, and it's not just, people are just not here just because the money or something, you know.
And that's kind of,
so that's what
that's kind of the reason why I wanted to start this, because like, I'm not, like I've mentioned before, I'm not skilled at animations or drawing that well. I don't know anything about game development, though you guys have actually convinced me to actually start learning that. And I don't do any music designing or choreography or anything like that, but I know how to operate a podcast, and I feel like a podcast is very valuable in gathering all the information, to have it on a single platform, so for someone to be able to listen to and just know everything about that. So, you know, I'm passionate about this. I believe in what you guys are doing. I want to offer my service, but I don't know what. I don't really have any skill set. This is all I know. So
I mean, the thing is, like, and this is also something that I kind of say to everyone, is like, because I get a lot of people that I mean, that say, oh, you know, I don't really have anything, any skills, or I don't have money to contribute to Patreon, or, you know, but I really want to help. And I mean, everyone can help, and the best help that people can do to us is literally just
spread the word.
Twitter, share the demo, like, I mean, well, not illegally obviously, but like, make sure that, you know, people are aware that actually on Patreon at the moment you can you know, you can subscribe to the tier, I think it's elite,
yes,
I think, tier, and then
the third tier.
Then you can get access to the early, you can get access to the early build of the demo, and then, you know, when the full demo is out, spread the word, let your grandma know that Glyde is out on Steam, and let your friends know, and everyone, you know, so they play it and they see.
Yeah, so
because, like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a pyramid, you know, like, you know, you know, one person,
the good kind of pyramid.
It's a good pyramid, right? It's a good pyramid, because you tell two of your friends, and then those two friends, they will tell other two friends, and, you know, even if one of two of those four friends play it, they can pass it on further, and that's how games, and I mean, that's how internet works. Everything just works of people spreading the word and sharing things.
It's like a chain reaction.
So you know, you can you know, you can pay and subscribe to Patreon, but you can also or instead of doing Patreon, you can just make sure that all your friends know about Glyde, because if your friends, they like this kind of game, maybe they will subscribe, or maybe they will tell their friends. And you know, that it's all about numbers, and especially like all the publishers and you know, whoever kind of decides what big games or what games get funded and stuff, they will care about numbers. And if they see that Glyde is popular, we have a lot of wish lists, we have a lot of downloads and a lot of feedback,
right.
Then they will know that there is potential in it, you know. So
definitely a lot.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. You know, I always said that to people, like, if you can't subscribe to Patreon, that's fine. Just you know, if you want to help, just let your friends know about the game and maybe give them a go. Like if you're Patreon, just, you know, see if they can come over to your house, or you know, if you can do it through Parsec, let them play.
Just play, have fun.
See what they think.
Yeah, I feel like that this franchise has a lot of potential, and it's definitely. I mean, we just want people to have fun, really, just enjoy all of this stuff we're creating. It's really It's
the best dragon game ever. That's it. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be that.
That's gonna be your motto.
It's like when you think a dragon game, you're gonna think Glyde, and then you're gonna think, oh, Spyro actually is also there. It's like...
yeah, we're putting the purple boy
Spyro,
in the back
who's
seat
that?
for a moment.
So, next question is, what are your plans for the future for Valefor Games? So, and I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit. So, future obviously for Glyde, but what about after Glyde? What do you plan on doing after Glyde? Is there a continuation after Glyde? Are you planning on stepping into other games?
Oh, I mean, as I've said before, it's gonna be I want it to be a universe. I want this IP to be not just one game. So, I mean, who knows? We don't know. I mean, there is like, depends how it all kind of goes, I guess. You know, I mean, I've got ideas for multiple Glyde titles. I mean, as I said, spin-offs, or you know, potentially a continuation. We don't know. I mean, you know, it might be a continuation with another dragon, or it might be a continuation with Glyde. We don't know how Glyde is gonna end up at the end. I mean, I know, but you don't know. But then, you know, it might be that, you know, it turns real dark, like real quick, you know. So we'll see.
Not against that.
You know, there's still some you know, room for movement. And I mean, you know, what I also tend to say is like, we don't want to like overthink everything, and we don't want to go a bit too far in the future, because first we have to focus on this, and then we'll see what happens, because the scale of the full game will also depend on the budgets that we get and on the people that we get, and you know, it's like it might end in many different ways. It might end with a continuation, or it might end that this chapter will be closed for Glyde, but then, you know, the game, another game could be a totally different dragon, or it could be Glyde, but it could be in a totally different kind of, maybe not a setting, but like in a totally different kind of story arc or whatever. You know, it might be that, you know, there's a spin-off that even becomes more popular than Glyde, and it just becomes that, you know, everyone will just love that other character or something, and then Glyde might make a cameo or something. It's hard to say.
Kingdom Hearts, but Glyde.
Kingdom Hearts and Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah.
Like that was very interesting.
Or you know, so I don't think I would want to change gameplay that much in between games, but it also like, unless it's a totally different game. Like I said, if we were to do a mobile game, it would be something Glyde themed, but it probably would be like a mobile game where, you know, like, I don't know, like Match 3, for example. You know, I know you collect fire crystals and you match 4 of them and they explode, and then you have lightning crystal, and the crystal and it creates a black hole and it drags other crystals in, and you know,
and
like,
everything dies, your game crashes.
Yeah, and then you have nature
exactly.
crystals, and there's so many cool things that we could do with totally different genres. That it's crazy. It's funny.
Yeah. It has so much potential, and I'm also really interested in
the thing that I have to say is, obviously, and this is like something that, you know, it should be kind of logical for everyone, but obviously the important thing is that we will have to fund the project somehow, right? So if, let's say, Kickstarter doesn't work out or something, we'll have to find money in different ways. So we'll have to probably work on the side project, and we'll have to actually release like a mobile game or something, which would probably be free, but then there would be an option to remove ads for, like, I don't know, $1 or something, you know, something small. But, and then we would have those, we could maybe even make couple Glide mobile games like this for different people and different kind of audiences. And then maybe that would help to gather the money. But it all kind of depends, everything can shift. If it turns out that the Kickstarter is super successful and we don't need to do anything else to actually fund the project, then we would just go straight into the full game.
Straight to the full game. I mean, that is kind of the end goal, right? At the moment, just getting a big, really like enjoyable and fantastical experience, being the full game, getting that out there, and then we see what happens.
Yeah, and then we just bathe in glory.
Awesome.
So TLDR, we'll see what happens. We don't want to go too far into the future, but the idea is to keep going with Glyde IP regardless of if it's another game or a short story, or maybe a movie.
Oh no. As long as you write a better script, then all right.
That was something.
Last question here. We'll make it quick. For anyone who wants to start their own game project, how did you get started? Research, mentors, equipment. What did you do to get started that you could pass on the torch to someone else?
That is a tough one. So I mean, to be honest,
try new things.
Yeah,
Get Unreal is free, Blend is free. You can make a game yourself for free.
Download the engine and
exactly,
and just try things.
Mess around.
I learned I literally learned by YouTube and by watching YouTube.
Yeah.
I just type in whatever you want to do in Unreal, and there's so many good tutorials and so many people that and so many good resources out there.
I suggest copying and modifying to what you want. So if you're learning how to create a character for games, create the character you want, but use like a tutorial, obviously.
And
just
follow
go
the
for
tutorials. And I mean, what I've done, and it might be a good idea actually, is literally just pick a game that you like. Or pick a simple game that you like Spyro, for example. Very simple game. When you actually think about Spyro, you
try and
walk around, you run around, you charge, you do breath, and every enemy dies in like one hit. So there's not hard to do, and you collect crystals, gems. So what's so hard about this? It's not complicated. There's only a couple mechanics, and try to recreate those mechanics in engine. Just try to do it yourself with tutorials. Because you're not gonna find a tutorial like how to create a Spyro gem flying to Spyro, But you're gonna be able to type in Unreal Engine 4, collectible, or Unreal Engine 4, moving one actor to another. Objects in games are actually called actors, by the way. So just so you know. But just try to recreate your favorite game or one or two mechanics from that game and see how you do. And if you can replicate it so it works, it doesn't have to be pretty, but as long as it works and the functionality is there, you're pretty much there as well. And just never stop, just keep going. It's gonna be tough, but sometimes, you eventually you'll learn and you'll know that actually I know what I'm doing. And you'll be able to code and make things of your own now. Like, I used to use tutorials pretty much all the time. I still do every now and then, but for the first year or two, I was pretty much just on tutorials because I was mostly focusing on the art style of things, like building the level and stuff. But so when I had to code something, it was really tough for me. But now I coded some systems and some things like all the corruption system and stuff like this, and I made it all work together. And now I can make anything, and I can just think of, I want to make this, and then I make it, and then maybe sometimes I'll get stuck and I'm like, how would I do this? But then maybe I will use a tutorial and I'm like, I forgot about this, and then I will just add that. So just experience and YouTube, I guess, just learn from other people. There's no need to try to do something of your own.
Also, if you're impatient, you can always do online courses.
That is what I did.
Stuff.
In general, there's so many good resources online, including paid courses and stuff. It's crazy.
I can highly recommend going to udemy.com. That's where I took an Unreal course. Well, I didn't finish it, but I got started and I kind of understood the basics. And even there, you get to make I think it's like 4 games, small games in the course where you get to understand all of the mechanics and what goes into building that experience.
Yeah.
And even in like raw C++. So if you really want to make that your career thing and just want to go ham, YouTube tutorials can do a lot. But if you want to also know the specific like the specific code and specific workflow for more complex systems, and also being familiar with all of these data types, it can probably help a lot trying out some of these Unreal courses. And they're also not that expensive.
Some people might also benefit a lot more from like actual like feedback and one-on-one
conversations,
like mentorship.
Mentorship. I think
so that's also another one.
I think there is like a community or something where you can talk to those people also participating in the course, and you can pretty sure you can also ask questions to some people managing the courses,
like a tutor.
Tutor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or you could do good old-fashioned university or college.
There are actually university degrees and stuff like that now.
There are. I mean, I'm on the.
Just be aware, some of them can be a lot less than what you expect.
I'm a little bit of on the negative side on that one because my university was a total dog.
Dragon fruit,
if I can say that. I mean, you can make it a total dragon fruit, whatever. But my university was just really bad, and my course was terrible. I didn't learn anything at all, and it was just terrible. I'm not gonna name the uni or anything, just because it's no point. But
just do thorough research.
I learned way more from YouTube and from just playing around with Unreal myself at home than I learned at uni over the 3 years course that I did. So that's just me. But I think what I'm also want to say is, depending on it's hard to do everything. So what I would advise is pick one role or pick something that you want to do, like specialization. So if you want to do coding, focus on coding. If you do models, focus on models. If you want to do animation, focus on animation. You can do multiple things at once. But then the problem is you're never gonna be really good at everything. You're gonna always lack in certain area,
or it'll take a very long time.
There is, however, one role where you can do that, and that's called the game design role, or like the producer.
Yeah, that's probably where I would kinda be, because like the reason it works for me, I can do a little bit of everything. I'm not good at. I mean, I'm good at many things, but I'm not really good at. Or really experienced with all of them, because I do a little bit everything. I never have time to learn everything. But the reason it works for me is because I'm the lead and I got the idea and I know where things should be and how I want them to feel and look and stuff. But there's also the team that believes in what I say and the team that kind of listens to what I say basically, and they want to follow the idea of the project. But it's not gonna be like this for everyone. And and often I did regret, sometimes when I had my doubts, I did regret that I didn't pick like 3D modeling, for example, because I really wanted to learn how to make models and stuff, but I just don't have time to do that.
Maybe in the future.
If I was to pick a role now, I would definitely pick something like 3D modeling and actually using the whole, learning the whole workflow, like making the models in ZBrush and then texturing and making all the materials in Substance and stuff like this. Use all the kind of industry standard tools, and just don't try to do everything yourself. Focus on one of the things. That's probably the easiest way to go about the game dev, because then you're going to be specialized in something and you're always going to be able to find a job as a coder, for example, rather than a little bit of everything guy like I am.
Yes, very much so.
If you want to be able to find a job fast, programming.
Yeah.
Like, if you can do raw code, you can get a job anywhere at this day and age.
Unreal work in film and TV is getting bigger, so you can, even if you learn a bit of Unreal, you can take that into a bunch of other
yeah.
industries as well.
Yeah, I mean, over the last few years, Unreal Engine actually expanded so much. It's been used in a lot of like.
Yeah, the film I'm working on is going to be rendered in Unreal. I'm pretty sure.
I think even Mandalorian was made in Unreal.
Yep.
Right, yeah. It's crazy.
As far as I'm aware, a lot of environments there that are actually being Unreal Engine powered and stuff like this. And
Is there any other last questions or last things you guys want to say before we get to the closeout?
not really. Just I mean, thanks to everyone here and part of the team, but also all the Patreons and the whole community for supporting this and going on this wild ride with us throughout the development process and how and actually playing and giving all the feedback when they play the Patreon build and stuff like this, because obviously thanks to all the feedback in the bug reports, we can make Glyde even better and even higher quality experience, which is that's what we want to do.
And that one person that's hacking the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Scott again. We mentioned Scott earlier, but yeah. So he's already tried to hack the game, and actually, he found access to all the kind of models and stuff. Luckily, it seems like the game can't be the source code cannot be.
Which is good, yeah.
Yeah, it cannot be accessed, but then, it looks like the modding will be possible, so...
yeah.
So be happy on that.
He already kind of made cheat codes for it, I guess. That was fast. Like, it was day 2 or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
After he got a hold of it so fast.
So fast.
Yeah. No, it's good to have someone like this on our side as well, because he's communicating with us about all the things that he found. And as I said, Scott was the one that actually noticed that the save file just gets bigger and bigger with every save for some reason.
Yeah, I was I for some reason I just hadn't noticed that. It was so I was
Same.
shocked.
I was wondering why people complain that after playing the game for so long, the saves get increasingly longer and it takes ages to load the game then. And that seems to be the reason why. We'll see if it actually will solve the issue next patch tomorrow.
It should, hopefully, fingers crossed, because
this is something that's on the radar.
yeah, with everything like this, it's like you can't know if it just works. We need it out in the field before we can actually tell if it has been fixed. So fingers crossed.
Yep. I know what I'll be doing tomorrow. I'm going to be saving again and again 50 times and then restarting and see if it works.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't and it slows the game down, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, I'll stay in touch. Hopefully you won't have to cry.
Okay. If you'd like to send us any questions or feedback, you can email us at glydecast@gmail.com and we'll discuss it in the next episode. If you want any more information about Glyde, you can also visit glydethedragon.com. We are also on Discord. Look for us in the official Glyde the Dragon Discord server. If you want to help support the game, you can also contribute through Patreon. Benefits include exclusive Discord privileges and early access, with voting capabilities on game content. Links for all this will be in the description below. Also, a video version of the show will be published on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. This is episode 1 officially, and we will be looking forward to hearing from you guys on the next episode. See you later, everyone.
Thank you.
Ciao.
See ya.
Thank you. See ya.
I've got 3 monitors, technically 3 monitors now, so now I have to figure out...
3?
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh, I've got 2 monitors and then 1 drawing tablet, so it's technically 3 screens.
Yeah,
figure out.
I got my 2 curved monitors. I got that second one. I'm so happy. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
I want a third one, but I don't have room for it.
Yeah, I also don't have room for a third. But hey, you can do a lot of stuff just with 2 monitors. It's
I've got 68-inch of pure awesomeness in front of me. It's awesome.
do an OBS test for me.
Though I think I will build a new desk, because the problem is I have a third curved monitor, a tiny one, and it will fit absolutely perfect underneath the two big ones, but I got a fish tank in the way. I don't want to get rid of the fish tank. I like my fish tank.
Yeah, that sucks.
The feel when you have to choose between a monitor and Coid.
Yes.
The struggles.
Yes. Ultimate.
All the struggles.
Ultimate choice.
The ultimate choice. Ultimate sacrifice. No. Coid stays. Even though these are Coid imposters, they're all Coid imposters, and they're all staring at me wanting food, but it's too early.
Okay,
1H, this one's for you.
What's up?
Dragon fruits.
Oh my god. Okay,
Basketball goes boom.
Jesus.
It is such a good video. I just love that clip. It's so funny.
It's hilarious.
I mean, imagine how loud it must have been in real life, and those other people in that room, they must have thought that a bomb went off or something. The fuck?
Oh my gosh. 1H, there's so much background noise.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like you have some, or like
What happened?
He's being loaded up.
like a jet in your room.
He's being loaded into the mothership.
What? I have a jet in my room?
Yeah, he's actually getting deployed somewhere. So he's just in the
Fighting
airport.
bugs
about
on,
now?
on the front lines.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
What? Okay, hang on. This is weird.
Now it's
I
here
hear
again.
I hear it when you're talking.
Why is it so weird then? Okay, hang on. Is it like the game or something? It's like I didn't change anything.
I hear you like messing with the mic stand or something.
Right now I'm messing with it, but and put it.
Just tell the pilot to turn off the engines, man. Be like,
It's so,
like
it's so
1H.
quiet.
We need to take off.
Wait, what?
We need to take off.
Now it's fine.
Is it fine?
Say something.
Hello?
Now it's fine. Yeah. But then before it was like, you know.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it in the recording, but I don't know what it is because there's nothing
It
going
sounded
on.
just like this.
Maybe. There we go.
Okay.
Maybe there's like a spaceship hovering above your house,
Could be.
and because you have
Mid-abducted.
electronics, yeah, maybe because you have electronics turned on, it causes static noise.
Yes.
And
That's a very
yeah.
good explanation. Indeed, that's probably what happened.
You need to check if your cows are still there.
No.
Dragon fruits.
The cows.
Oh shit! My cow!
It was,
You need to download more
yes,
RAM.
I need to download more RAM. I don't have enough.
What?
I'm sorry.
I know a guy.
What, you haven't downloaded RAM? Shaggy, do you want me to show you how you can download more RAM?
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you serious?
You can totally
Very
download more
easy.
RAM.
You're living under a rock, man.
Bruh.
Well, that is my life, so.
Bruh, indeed.
Look. It's Cloud RAM. You select the plan. Just select 32, for example. And then you press download. I'm doing it as we speak. Look, you can do this. Look, so it's connecting to the interwebs. And then retrieves all the RAM.
And then, boom,
And then it's almost there.
you got more RAM.
And then you got more RAM. And then when you press click here for more info, it will tell you all the details about your new RAM.
Wow. Hey, la
Just sounds
Mao.
sketchy.
Have you done this? Have you done it?
No.
Why? To download more RAM, man.
I don't know if I trust you.
You know you can trust me.
I know, but it's like,
Listen to the soothing sound of his voice. He's a trustworthy person. Like, come on.
Exactly. Like,
Don't you trust me?
I'm scared.
Just press the button, man. Just about.
Dragon fruit.
Do it!
I mean, you don't want more RAM, rather than paying like £150 or dollars for like new stick, just download it. So simple.
Just download the hardware.
Download, yeah. Do we all talk about those topics? Or I answer the question and then
Talk?
you'll probably figure out something, you'll
Yeah.
probably find out something you didn't know and you'll be like, oh! And then you ask me questions.
That was a very
Okay.
interesting sound.
Yeah, I was pretending I'm Griffin.
That's how. Bruh.
I'm a man of many voices.
Oh man.
I was wondering if you were actually voicing anyone in the game.
Well, me.
You are,
Yeah.
yeah?
Did you voice any the
Well, you don't know? You didn't know?
I know now that I just remembered, but I was like, are you going crazy with like secret voice talent? Just
I mean, I voiced something that you probably don't realize.
I can't even guess.
I think I do.
primordial voice?
Guess. Well, yeah. So I'm the primordial. I'm the pioneer one, but I also voice all the zombies, all the.
Right,
Yeah, that's me.
Oh my god!
Also the
Dragon fruit.
how is it called? The corrupt the guardian.
The Blighter?
Yes,
Wait,
yeah.
really?
Yeah. So some of the voice lines I recorded and then modified with voice mod, and
Dragon fruit.
I just done a bunch of like.
Wow.
I changed the pitch and.
Dragon fruit.
But it's also mixed with some other sounds and stuff. So yeah,
I
I'm just.
never would have guessed.
I mean, it's not like voice. Well, it is voice, but it's not like voice lines. It's more like sounds. Yeah.
Funny
Sounds
growls
with your
and
mouth.
runs.
I'm gonna put a pause real quick. I just found out, so I'm doing something wrong with my audio real quick. I gotta get something. Be right back.
All right.
All right.
Cue the elevator music. Perfect.
Actually, funnily enough, I don't think I ever was in an elevator that was actually playing music.
What?
Me neither.
Does that only happen in US or something? I don't know.
Maybe it is a US thing. I don't.
Or
remember
maybe-
elevators doing it.
I think
Maybe I was, but the only place I could potentially think that happened was like a hotel somewhere.
Yeah, I
think.
was about to say hotels.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't think all of them do though.
They should.
I mean,
they
here
should have,
in
like,
UK, I mean, hotels are like
Dragon fruit.
trash cans anyway, so maybe that's why. It's like they worse than someone's house. but it's like, I don't know, no idea. But yeah, cool stuff. But anyway,
So I found out that I hit for selecting the microphone. I select Rodecaster multi-channel instead of Rodecaster. My
non-multi-channel.
not multi-channel. So I've been recording everyone's track on one track instead of separate. So like,
Dragon fruit.
right.
so I'll try to stay quiet after this because it's so much to talk about. But
Dragon fruit.
what was I gonna say?
That's a nice dragon fruit.
Well, it'll be
Yeah.
soundboard.
Yeah.
Right in there.
Dragon fruit.
It's not only me now. Hell yeah.
Hey, you haven't said it once. That's actually the first time. Oh,
Good job.
Dragon fruit.
Griffin's actually behaving
She
today.
is.
Wow.
Griffin's on our best behavior.
Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? I literally just thought of it. It was important. Or was it not important?
Yeah, and I mean, you can call it a company, you can call it a studio. Kinda
Dragon
like,
fruit.
Sorry guys, my cat just opened the door. What the
Dragon fruit.
Nice. He's like,
Wait. I've got a camera. Hang on.
I want to see this.
you're gonna.
Your cat wants to join the podcast. Like,
Like,
why'd you
he's
let him
like-
out?
Good.
He's like
Sorry, I
standing.
look sunburnt right now.
That's
Hang on.
okay.
Hang on.
You're gonna be the cat's like standing there on two feet, and he's like, oh, you're recording without me.
Alright, so let me just move this. The door is now ajar. Mobby, come here.
Show yourself.
No, you can't do it.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, hello, gents. It's like,
Open the door and then just
The
walks
top part.
away.
I love the Ratchet and Clank poster thing or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's
Is that
so cool.
like a stand or?
The criminal has left.
I forgot that
It's like he opened the door. It's been like
Door in this-
surprise. He's like, "Are you winning, son? I mean, daughter, are you winning?"
I see the window and I was like, wait, why is it so dark in there? Duh.
Maybe because they're in Australia.
It's
and
almost
there's, like,
midnight.
there's probably a huge spider above her house.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
So there's like this big spider like casting shadow on the whole house, you know, like a massive one.
I wouldn't put it past Australia to have something like that.
Yeah, it's like fucking gigantic spider. It's like,
that's real. Only in Australia.
Only in Australia.
Oh my gosh. It's like why are there like
Kitty.
called
I've actually had that happen. Imagine this. That was crazy scary. I was a kid, right? And like, I was walking on the street, and there was like there was a gate, right? That people had like to enter, in front of the house, and there was a dog there, like, and he was barking, and that dog literally stands on his
Dragon fruit.
2 legs, and opens the gate with his like,
Oh my gosh.
and comes out,
God.
and he's like, "What the
Dragon fruit.
thought he's gonna like kill me or something." Like, that was scary. Like, imagine this.
like
But yeah,
an
so they can
angry
do that.
dog in someone's garden. Yeah,
And he literally
opening
opens the gate like nothing. Like, what the
Dragon fruit.
wouldn't you keep that dog like somewhere on the leash or something? I don't know. But yeah,
That's cheating.
I survived. I mean, I died, but I lived.
Died
yeah.
to live.
Died would I live?
If it's another game or a short story or maybe a movie,
Oh no.
you know,
As long as you write a better script, then
live action movie with 1H as a boy who's lost in this magical world of dragons, and Glyde has to help him find a way
man.
to
Where did
escape
this
to the
come from?
Live action animated hybrid?
Where did that come
Whoa.
from?
yeah.
Oh dear.
And then we just have
But,
1H just
if
be
we-
like,
if we-
"What do I do? I programmed these moves. I know how to counter them." And you try fighting a zombie.
oh my god.
And then Glyde is like, "Nah, it doesn't work like that."
The zombie that's voiced
no.
by Valefor.
That would be mega weird. But if we're doing a movie, at least we shouldn't take any notes from the Spyro, like the
No.
the scrapped
gosh.
Spyro movie.
God.
All right.
I feel like that would have been worse than the live action Avatar movie.
Oh my god.
Or it would at least rival it.
I don't even know if it's possible. I mean, to be
True,
honest,
true. It is a really high
the worst
bar.
was probably Dragon Ball Z, but I'm not sure. But yeah.
Oh yeah, the live action Dragon Ball.
Oh god.